This creature is known to science as the but if you've seen this fish, you'll probably call it by a different name, the Fang. Today, we're diving deep into the abyss to explore the world of the Fangtooth. Let's get into it. These ferocious-looking fish are the undisputed champions of toothy grins in the sea, sporting the biggest teeth in relation to their body size of any fish on the planet. This little guy has a compact body that can grow up to 35 centimeters long and weighs around 3 kilograms. The fish is mostly dark-colored, although specimens caught near the surface sometimes sport iridescent blues and purples. They release eggs and sperm into the water and hope for the best. Most deep-sea creatures die young, with many not making it past 5 years. Well, first off, it feeds primarily on small fish, like lantern sharks and dragonfish, as well as squid and That's pretty standard fare for a predatory fish. What isn't standard is the Fangtooth's unique hunting strategy. As you can probably imagine, not much. And because fangtooth fish tend to inhabit deeper, colder waters, they're generally slow-moving when captured, which makes sense, considering the temperature. Are these fierce fish at risk of disappearing anytime soon? And another study found that fangtooth biomass increased after the Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010. Thankfully, there are organizations out there working to do just that. One group of researchers has developed a new deep-sea baited camera system that can capture fish like the fangtooth in their natural habitat. By studying the fangtooth in its natural environment, we can learn more about its behavior and better understand its role in the deep-sea ecosystem. And thankfully, this innovative technology won't harm the fangtooth or its environment like traditional fishing gear can. This might seem counterintuitive, but it's likely that the oil slick killed off other fish in the area, giving the fangtooth more space and resources to thrive. And when they do, we'll be here to tell their stories. If so, leave us a like and a comment. Let us know what you think. Do you have a favorite bizarre beast from the deep? Let us know down below. And as always, thank you for watching. See ya! In fact, in some areas, fangtooth biomass increased by as much as 50% in the years following the disaster. But these increases didn't last long, and fangtooth numbers returned to pre-spill levels within 3 years. Overall, scientists think fangtooth populations are probably doing okay, but it's hard to say for sure because there's so little data available. They're just so elusive. Well, as far as we know, the fangtooth hasn't been officially classified as endangered or vulnerable, but that doesn't mean they aren't at risk. According to NOAA Fisheries, fangtooth landings have increased in recent years, but overall, they're considered low. This is probably because fangtooth fish live so deep that it's hard to target them with fishing gear. But as deep-sea trawling continues to expand, scientists worry that more species will get caught in the nets, including the Scientists believe that they're cold-blooded, or more accurately, cold. And since metabolism slows down at lower temperatures, fangtooths probably don't need much food to stay alive, especially since they tend to eat prey that's high in fat and nutrients. There's very little information available on this mysterious fish, largely because it lives so deep below the surface. It's rarely seen by humans. Even commercial fishing vessels rarely venture into the midnight zone to haul up fangtooth fish, but scientists have managed to track down a few specimens at the surface, and those observations have given us some insight into what these fish get up to. Thanks to its expandable jaw and stomach, the fangtooth can swallow prey that's nearly as big as it is. Seriously, have you seen the size of these things? It's like something out of a nightmare, or maybe a fever dream, but others can live much longer than that. We think fangtooths probably live somewhere between 5 and 15 years, give or take. But without more data from the field, it's impossible to say for sure. The tiny larvae then drift around in the currents as plankton until they mature. We do want to know much about their life cycle, because these creatures are so hard to study in the wild. They live so deep below the surface that it is challenging to catch them in large enough numbers to learn much about their behavior. So it's hard to say exactly how long it takes for the baby fangtooths to become adults. But we estimate that they reach maturity sometime during their first year of life. And if you ever saw a fangtooth flash its grin, you probably wouldn't stick around to see another sunrise. They're living their best life down in the deep sea, where no sunlight penetrates, sporting an array of long, sharp, terrifying teeth that could put any shark to shame. Fangtooths have the largest teeth relative to body size of any fish that's ever existed. Sometimes they found entire meals of fish, squid or crustaceans, some of which were almost as large as a fangtooth itself. The fangtooth must use its massive teeth to chomp through the tough skin of its prey, then swallow it whole. No wonder they have such big teeth. And those teeth aren't just for killing and eating prey. The fangtooth uses them for defense. Researchers think that these fearsome chompers serve as a warning to would-be predators who don't want to end up on the menu themselves. And as far as we know, those chompers are used only for catching and tearing apart prey. And they use these weapons of mass destruction to hunt down prey in the darkest depths of our oceans. Hey there! Welcome back to Animal Logic. The fangtooth may not be the largest or the most complex fish in the ocean, but it is definitely one of the most menacing. Fangtooths are found in both the northern and southern hemisphere, typically between latitudes 40 degrees north and south. You can find them in tropical and temperate oceans all over the globe. It's here where the fangtooth lives out its whole life in complete darkness and freezing temperatures. And while they might seem like they prefer the darker, warmer depths of the tropics, they actually thrive in colder waters, preferring depths of 200 to 5,000 meters below the surface. For reference, that's about the height of the Burj Khalifa, one of the tallest buildings in the world, plunged into the ocean 200 times. That's pretty deep. These ultra-deep waters are part of the mesopelagic and bathypelagic zones, also known as the twilight zone and the midnight zone respectively. As far as we know, fangtooth fish reproduce in the same way as other fish. As for how long they live, once they're all grown up, your guess is as good as ours. So how does the fangtooth survive down in the deep, dark sea? When researchers examined the stomachs of the fangtooth fish they caught, they often found partially digested prey, which gave them clues about what the fish eats. So what do we know about the fangtooth's behavior? When a fangtooth is hauled up to the surface, it often puts on quite the show, thrashing around and flashing its razor-sharp teeth before succumbing to the air and light above. Okay, so what about conservation status? One survey conducted in the northern Gulf of Mexico in 2009 found that 16% of bottom trawls contain. To learn more about the fangtooth, we need to get more of these enigmatic fish into our nets, so to speak. We're still a long way from seeing fangtooth fish in the wild, but it's only a matter of time before these elusive creatures reveal their secrets. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Did you enjoy this episode of Animal Logic?